Inspire with Nendrix, the foundation.
Hey, Embracing Arms community, how are you today? This is Dr. Danielle Hairston coming back to you with another 5-minute quickie with Your Best Life. I just wanted to take a moment to share some thoughts with you regarding planning an event. One of the things that I'm just coming off of a full day event, day 2 of a 3-day event, and it went wonderfully. Most people don't know the behind the scenes that you have to go through to get these events pulled together, especially now that most of our events are hopefully virtual, with COVID-19 kind of being in our lives right now. But you know, I'm a planner by nature and by training, and so as I'm thinking about, like, we're coming to our 3rd day, which is next week, and I'm already thinking about next year. I'm like, okay, what we need to do, how are we going to get ready for next year? So here are some thoughts for you if you are either planning for the first time an event, or maybe you're planning an annual event and coming off of one and getting ready for another one. There's a couple things that you need to keep in mind. First of all, when do you want to have it, right? When do you want to have the event? Because when you want to have it is going to make a huge impact on who's going to be involved in planning it. My opinion. A lot of people are like, I want to know who's going to be involved before we say when. I'm like, when? You know, if I'm leading this initiative, I need to determine when, and then identify those players that can help me bring when to life. So for me, when are you going to have the event? The second thing is, who is your audience for this event? When is it? Who's your audience for the event? And then the third thing is, why are you having the event? You don't have to have your vision laid out clearly just yet. You know, you don't have to have all your learning objectives laid out just yet. But when are you having it? Why are you having it? Who's your audience, right? Have those 3 things pulled together. Once you've done that, then start doing a little bit of backward mapping. So if you want to have it in November 2021, then you need to start backing things up to determine exactly what you have to do starting today so that you can make sure that you make that deadline. And the other thing is there a budget? Is there money involved? How much is that going to cost? What you can do from there is just identify some individuals, maybe 3 or 4 individuals, to start think tanking around what would be the vision for that event. What will be the goals? And you already know what the why you're having it. But now we start talking about, okay, we know the audience. Now we need to start talking about learning objectives. So grab a couple of people. It doesn't have to be your full committee. Just grab a couple of people who's interested in supporting you, and then start brainstorming that. So once you get those people together and you guys start brainstorming, the learning objectives for that thing, you know when, you know who the audience is, you know why you're having it, you know what your budget is if there's money involved, and now you have your learning objectives pulled together. I think the moment that happens, you can start putting together a save the date and let people know. Save the date for you. This is why, this is when. And everything in between is now planning. You already had your 3 or 4 people coming together to talk about the learning objectives. Now we need to know what role they're going to play in bringing it to life. Who's going to be responsible for identifying the speakers? Who's going to be responsible for pulling a team together to support the technology? Who's going to be responsible for any educational materials that are needed? Any communication that's needed for the participants so they know that this thing is coming. Who's going to be responsible for the visuals and the marketing and the flyers and the social media pop and all of those things? How many committees does that look like? Is that 6 committees and you need people to populate each one of those committees? That's what you spend the first 3 months working on, getting your committees together, because you already got the information, who went, where, why. Now you need to put the how. Let's put all of that in place. And then once your event is over, it is always important to do an after action review within 30 days of your event ending. If you wait any longer than that, people will forget what happened. They will definitely forget what happened. And so the after action is basically an opportunity for everyone, all of your committee members, to get together, to start talking about what worked, what didn't work, what could be improved, and what are some action steps so that you can start thinking about next year. And so one of the challenges that I usually have is have each one of the committee members show up to those meetings with a timeline of events of how this worked out for them and their committee. And then we basically sit together and we combine those timelines. And then we start talking about what worked, what didn't work, what could be improved, what are the action steps for next year. I promise you, if you can do that within 30 days of your event, it will make your life so much better. So that's just a thought that I have, because I'm really thinking right now, and I need to get my people in place so that we can get this thing ready for next year. So anyway, that's just my thought, my 5-minute quickie. Go out in the community and continue to embrace someone. They're waiting on you, and live your absolute best life.
My Lacasa boy, this is my residence. My prescription boy, this is my medicine. The world can be sickening, living in house resemblance. Not to mention the media's effort to keep us in the most simplistic state of mind. Lowest age bracket committing the highest rate of crime.